What's going on, guys? So as you can see, I'm over here designing Cameron's tattoo. Cameron has a half sleeve, as you can see, that I did earlier, maybe 2 years ago. So later on in the show, I'm going to discuss what this tattoo means and a consultation that we did, why he wants to do another tattoo and add on to it, just to include the meanings in that. And then I'm going to break down designing the tattoo. So pretty much what's going on in my mind as I design this tattoo, as far as balance, the bold lines, the motifs and symbols that's in it, along with his story and what we talked about. So I kind of laid out some quick lines in the middle of the show. As you continue to watch, we're going to continue on this tattoo. But also in the meantime, as you can see on the right side of the screen, there's a tattoo, and we're going to break down the tattoos. That's our tattoo highlight of the week. We have, I think, 3 tattoos that we're going to break down. So we're going to discuss some meanings with these tattoos that I've done during the week. That's one half sleeve that you could see. The next one is actually a scar. So if you could see the scar right there, he wanted me to fix it. That's a tattoo I did, maybe 5 years ago. And he had surgery. When the doctor went in, they cut it through the tattoo, and when they put it back together, it didn't line up. So I'm going to show you what the end result looked like. And then lastly, we're going to show you a piece of this this tattoo that he wanted to add on to his Guam seal. And he wanted to add on his chest, a little bit of his chest, onto his shoulder and a little of his back. So I'm going to break down the tattoo and show you basically the process from a pen to markering it up, to outlining it, and then shading it all together. So we have a lot of photos to kind of walk you through that. There's a lot going on today. We're also going to take a journey to Aotearoa, New Zealand, and discuss some history along with motifs and symbols. And yeah, and then we're going to continue Cameron's tattoo. So we will see you guys in a bit.
Ko tētahi o ngā rā kauroa e noho motu hake ana, ko te tewhatewha.
Ina kauenga o te riri, ina he whakatakatoa i ona kōrero āroto. Koira te mahi o te tewhatewha.
Nā te rangatira te rarakau. Kāore te tūtū anō e hoi mau i te tewhatewha. Me whakapapa nui tō te tangata kā mau i te tewhatewha. Tuatahi tuarua, me mōhi hoki e ki ngā iho matua o te tewhatewha e tae ai e ia te mau i te tewhatewha. Ko te kai rota i ngā kōrero, tuku pānui ki te iwi e noho tawhiti mai ana, engari ki te mai ana rātau. Ko tā rātau e kimira, ko te tewhatewha. Tuatahi, me ngā kura kai runga i te tewhatewha, ka mutu ki te hikina koe te tewhatewha, kua ki te koe e purere ana ngā kura. Ko i rā, tā rātau e kimia.
Welcome. All right, welcome to TATtalk. Thank you for joining us today, Tuesday. We go live every week. Those of you that are watching for the first time, this is a live show so that we can engage with you, talk story, and so go ahead and make comments, ask questions, and share with us. Share with us your culture, where you're talking from or viewing from. We have a lot of guys from Fiji, Samoa. We got a lot of messages, so please share your culture and let us know your thoughts. So we're going to be be taking a trip to Aotearoa. We're gonna talk about some history there. As you could see, the tefa, the staff weapon that they were showing. We actually have an artifact from there that we're gonna show, and so stay tuned for that. Also, we're gonna break down all the tattoos that I just talked about earlier. So I'm gonna design live here for you guys the full sleeve. I'm gonna add on to Cameron's tattoo, and I'm gonna walk you through it. I'm just gonna talk through my thoughts in it, because there's a lot going on as far as flow, his body, the way that he moves, and everything, as far as his story and the meanings that he wants to include in it. So stay tuned for that. My name is Josh. I'm the host. We're here with Robert.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
Robert's going to help me with answering comments because I can't really see the screen a lot because I'm going to be talking to you guys. But Robert's going to be talking about at the end.
At the end, we'll be talking about a phone call.
Oh,
a surprise phone call for everybody to learn some history.
Okay,
yeah.
Current event. Something's
events.
coming up towards the end. Stay tuned for that. All right, so let's get this started. So a couple weeks ago, we went to Hawaii and we picked up an artifact.
Yep.
We actually picked up a couple, but today we want to show the tefa from New Zealand.
Ooh, look at that. You good?
So here you go.
Oh wow.
Now when we picked this up, it's said to be over 100 years old.
Jeez.
The craftsmanship in this, as you could see, it's carved. I'm assuming this was used for ceremonies, not for war or battle, because it's decorative. But you can tell that it is old.
They go like the where they would hold it.
Right here.
Oh yeah.
As you could see. Now this comes from our museum in the lobby of the tattoo shop. We actually have so many artifacts.
Yeah.
It can't fit in the lobby. So we are rearranging everything, and every month we're gonna swap out everything. And
like a new theme every month. Yeah, like try to, because there's so much stuff. We want everybody to see everything, And
majority of everything is over 100 years old, and it's all about culture.
And it's their museum and ours. Like it's everybody's.
It's the people's museum. It's your guys' museum. So we also want to encourage, if you have any artifacts from your family that's in storage or in the basement collecting dust, we could display it, share it, put it, in memory to your family or anything like that, because we are growing.
Yes.
And it is a plan to expand, move into a larger area where we can put everything out to display. And the whole the whole purpose for the museum is to not only show our culture through TATtalk or the tattoos that we do, but through the artifacts, where you can actually enjoy the culture firsthand that our ancestors held, touched, used in the culture. So that's the People's Museum. So we are going to go straight off. Oh, and also Black Friday. So real quick, this week,
Friday,
Thanksgiving. So Friday, Black Friday, we have a Black Friday sale here at Island Tat. We have our new design that sold out. We sold out of the blue. I think we have a couple shirts left in blue. So we had a lot of requests for black. So as you could see in the flyer, there's the design in black. We have T-shirts, hoodies, but we also have a limited amount of them.
So it's basically first come, first serve.
First serve.
There's no special ups and downs.
Right. Now the T-shirt's $28 online. It will be up after this week.
Yeah.
But first, if you're in the San Diego area and you're able to make it down for the Black Friday sale
to the shop,
then the shirts are $20.
Oh, wow.
They're going to be $20. And we also have a large selection of other designs of miscellaneous sizes.
Yeah.
Just random things, because all the designs are limited. And once they sell out, they sell out.
Gone.
So make sure you're here for that. Check that out. All right, so let's take our journey to Aotearoa and begin the show.
Yeah. Yes, Bobby, we do travel.
All right, guys. So before I get into Aotearoa, or New Zealand,
Yeah.
land of the long white cloud.
What? That's what it's called?
Yeah, I mean, so when they first went, when the canoes first traveled there, they just saw a long white cloud.
Oh.
You know what's funny is when I went to New Zealand with Ali Nui, a lot of times it was real foggy, and it was just the weather. I was like, oh, it's foggy, but I didn't realize it was cloudy. You know, it was like the clouds were low and it was real just foggy. We were in it.
Yeah, okay.
So that's just a interesting fact. Anyways, so I like to just preface everything as we travel and journey throughout the Pacific with I guess the first time that it was settled, or the first Europeans that went there, because that changes everything.
Okay.
When Europeans never arrived, they had their own culture untouched, and it was just, no metals or nothing.
Oh,
it's a whole different culture. But the thing is that we only know the history based on oral tradition, based on passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
And anything written was written by the Europeans, the journalists.
Yeah.
Or the journals, not journalists. Yeah, the journalists.
Well, I mean,
back then.
Yeah, back then they were journalists.
So, December of 1642, Abel Tasman, he was the first one to get to New Zealand.
Okay.
And what's interesting is he talked about he described them in his journals. He talked about their hair, their figure, the way they dressed, their complexion, and he never mentioned moko or tattoos.
Oh, okay.
And that's really weird because he was so detailed in his description of them that it would be kind of common sense. Like he would put the
it'd
moko
be like,
in there,
hey,
like they're
obviously,
tattooed. They have marks on their face and body.
Yeah.
And he didn't mention any of that. So once again, we don't know if they were tattooed before then, even though there's no written history about that. Or maybe they weren't. I don't know.
Or maybe they were, and they told him, hey, if you want to describe us, just keep it very...
Well, they couldn't. They had a language barrier there, too, so they probably didn't just talk to him.
They probably went
that.
like this and went, no.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go over this real quick because, this isn't a history class, but it's kind of important for the moko.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, moko is tattoo in New Zealand or Aotearoa. And in Aotearoa, they didn't have the word tattoo. They didn't even use the word tatau. They used moko.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or the first Europeans, when they wrote it down, it was amoko.
Amoko.
A-M-O-C-O. Amoko.
Okay.
That's what they called it. And so the moko is the tattoo. Now, when Captain Cook came in 1769, that's 127 years later, in his journals, he recorded moko tattoos.
Okay.
And he recorded in detail. And that's where we get a lot of the depictions of the moko and the swirls and the artwork and everything because of their artists recording it. It's really important. So, native tradition was that they would mark their face with charcoal before battle. This is what was told to us just in books. Now, is this true or not? I'm just letting you know what I read and what I researched. But those that have knowledge passed down from their ancestors know more, know better. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So this is where we want you guys, if you're from Aotearoa, to write down anything that you know.
Oh, yeah,
as
some
well.
history for us, too, yeah.
But what is written is that they would mark their face with charcoal in battle, and every time they would have to redo it, they said, man, we should just do this permanently.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
So that's the idea of how it came about. Now there's different stories and legends of how it came about with the art. coming from the gods, and there's many different stories on which gods and how, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start off with the first photo here. This is a moko.
Wow, that's crazy.
And as you could see, they would carve the designs into their skin. That's a really good clear picture. And if you look up close, you could see grooves in their skin.
Mm-hmm.
And they would carve it with something called an uhi, which is a chisel.
Oh, okay.
And then they would put the charcoal or ink into the grooves. Sometimes it went so deep that it would go through their cheek.
In the bone?
No, through their skin.
Oh, right here. Oh,
Through their
point out my
cheek.
cheekbone. Yeah.
Through their cheek, where when they would smoke, sometimes you would see smoke coming out of their cheek. That's how deep they would go to make that groove. Now, in this next photo, you could see a more contemporary moko with a machine or possibly hand tapped, but it wasn't carved.
Yeah.
It was actually like a needle or, injecting with a bone or something, and it doesn't create the grooves in the skin.
Okay.
So men and women would get the moko, and for women, this is what they would get right here. As you can see, her lower part of her chin is a moko.
I just want to I don't want to throw you off because I know you're in a groove, but isn't it crazy how other native tribes going up north to the U.S. all have the kind of not the same exact design, but they all
on
have,
their lower.
Yeah,
I've seen that. And not only would they tattoo their lower chin, they would also do their lips, and this is actually an ancient tradition as well. The Maori.
Oh wow.
The Maori people felt that red lips was ugly. So they liked this bluish color lips. It was more beautiful.
Yeah, I actually like that.
So this blue
that
ink,
look,
they would actually tattoo around their lips. They would sometimes get it on their forehead or outside of their eyes, but you would mostly see it.
I've seen some
on
on their eyelids. They've done. And it's crazy. It's insane.
And here's an example of side by side with the uhi, the carving, an ancient, older photo of the woman, the little girl on the left, and then the gentleman on the right.
Yeah.
You could see the grooves, and these are photos, so you could tell that it's actually chiseled in there.
Yeah, he's it's carved, not ink. It's the lines.
Right. So, it was really important. The moko was done by the chiefs or distinct figures in the village or in the tribe.
Yeah.
Slaves wouldn't have moko only until they start selling the heads of moko.
Okay.
Would they tattoo slaves so that they could sell their head?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's just a fun fact. Now, certain chiefs, when the Europeans came, their moko was so specific and they knew it so well that they used it as their signature.
Okay.
So they didn't have a written language, back then.
Yeah.
So they would use it as a signature, and as you can see right here on the bottom of this contract, they would sign their name in a moko, their moko.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be their name. Here's another example of a moko.
So it's their signature but on their face, like you're saying, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting how they know what their face looks like so well, right? That they can draw it.
What if they were wrong? You're bro, you're way off.
Well, if you see the drawings, it's not so specific. Well, that second one is pretty.
Yeah,
specific.
it is. I was that's pretty on
That's
it.
pretty detailed. But it's interesting to know. Now, all the designs weren't just moko. They had it on their body as well. So as you could see in this next photo, this was actually drawn by the author of this book. His name was Horatio Gordon Robley in 1840. And this is a sketch he did in 1840 off of a thigh of a skin, the skin of a thigh piece. So he actually redrew it. And you could see the markings. And in this next photo, this is an example of a tattoo done on the thigh of an actual Maori back then.
And it actually almost looks like the same picture they just showed.
Right. So,
Yeah.
you know, I guess they all looked very similar when they would tattoo on their body. And they would tattoo their butt, their thighs. They weren't real big on their upper body.
Okay.
They would do their, I mean, they would, but there's not a lot of accounts of that. So here you could see, now these are all Maori patterns. And I'm just going to show you these patterns. These patterns are taken off of rafters in the marae or the temples or the houses. And as you could see, they're all swirls. They're really into nature. In this next photo, you could see different patterns. These are all different patterns. Now, all these designs have names, but a lot of them are lost. And you can see all of these are very distinct to New Zealand or Aotearoa. And even this one, you know, as you can see, these are all really different. A lot of them, so there's different things that they represent, such as like waves, hammerhead shark, ferns, sand flounder, they call it patiki. So those are very specific to New Zealand. All right. So we have a lot to go over.
A lot.
We have a lot to go over. So that's a real quick take on Aotearoa, New Zealand.
And I just want to go over some comments real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
We got Bobby Ford who want to know if you travel. Do you travel and do tattoos?
I used to travel a lot tattooing. I don't necessarily do that anymore just because I'm so busy here at the shop. But if there's enough people that get together and want me to, make it out, we could talk or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to shout out to Aunt Sherry and James. They're watching.
Hey, how's it?
How you guys doing?
Marie, how's it? Joe, what's going on? Ivan, Priscilla, what's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us. We're here we just got done talking about Aotearoa, New Zealand. And when we go through the different islands and cultures, we're gonna first talk about the history and a general idea of the designs.
Yeah.
And then further in the season, in different episodes, we're going to come back and talk about specific things. So we want to hit about 10 to 15 minutes of each culture, each show, and that we can't really get too much out. So we're kind of rushing through it. So anyways, that's going to be our New Zealand Aotearoa journey. Now we're going to do our tattoo highlights of the week.
Oh, right.
So this is a popular segment because of the fact that I'm going to break down the Polynesian tattoo. I'm going to break down, I guess you could say, the island tat. Yeah. Breaking down the island tat style.
Hey, I like that.
Right? Because Polynesian artists have their own ways of doing things. And I definitely don't do it traditionally. I don't have hand tap tools. I don't do ceremonies. I'm a very modern, contemporary artist that uses tattoo machines. And because of this, I'm influenced and inspired by Polynesian designs with my culture being Chamorro. Growing up in Hawaii, I take all of that and I do my own creation, respecting the culture. But I'm not going to say it's traditional because I don't use hand tap tools. So let's break down the tattoo. First, I want to start off by talking about this tattoo. So this tattoo, as you can see, is a scar. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this, it's not really breaking down the Polynesian tattoo. Yeah. But a lot of people have injuries, scars, blemishes, things they want to cover up. So it's good that people get to see what we can do. Now, if you have a scar or a tattoo that was damaged based on surgery or anything, this is a prime example of what happened. So he had surgery on his back, as you could see. This is a close-up right here.
Oh, I remember this client. Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually went right through the tattoo, and when he was sewing them up or finishing, they didn't align the tattoo properly. So he, was curious if we're able to fix that, and I was able to. So here you could see what I did. Here's a picture of his back, but
wow, yeah.
I should have a close-up here, or I guess a before and after. So you could see.
Oh, there it is.
You could see what we were able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I just bolded the lines out. I just made it thicker.
Mm-hmm. You connected it.
And right here, you have a before and after. So on the left, you can see the tattoo scar.
Yeah.
And then on the right, it's just gone.
It almost looks like you got you made it bigger.
Well, I had to make the line on top thicker.
Okay.
And you don't just fix that area. You have to go into the other tattoo.
Oh, so it's like you're blending it all.
As you can see, I made the whole top line thicker.
Okay.
All the way across.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just make that thicker right there,
yeah,
it will throw it off. It's all about balance and the eye and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So the more that you guys watch, the more you guys will be able to see
the little techniques here and there.
Yeah, you guys will be able to see the progress and the process that we do here at Island Tat. So right here you have a falcon.
Okay.
A picture of a falcon. Now let me tell you a backstory on this client. This client came in. He's actually a doctor, and I think it was his first tattoo. No, he had smaller tattoos. This was his first large tattoo. He wanted to get a half sleeve, and he sent me this picture of his son's tattoo. So he wanted to create a half sleeve with this falcon included in it, this exact falcon. And this is an example of how we can copy a tattoo based on reasons. We're never going to copy a tattoo just because. But because this was his son's tattoo,
yeah.
I agreed. I said, yeah, there's meaning to it, and you want a connection with your son. I obviously didn't design it, but he wanted that exact one.
Yeah. And
so,
just to not to interrupt, but Kalani wanted to say he could tell, or he just thought it would be harder to tattoo on scars, like to get the ink through.
Every scar is different.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, can ink go through scars the same as normal skin?
Yeah.
It can, but it depends on how long the scar has been there, how fresh it is, and also how thick the skin is. Sometimes it's really thin.
Oh, okay.
It depends how old they are too, if the skin's old. And
yeah.
There's so many different things. So it's good to see it and see what you can do with it.
And does your technique have to be different too?
Yeah. Sometimes, especially what do you call stretch marks?
Oh, okay.
Sometimes the stretch mark will throw it'll throw the needle left to right.
Oh, really?
It's crazy. When you do a line, it'll be
Uh-huh.
all crooked right out of the scar. So you gotta really pay attention, know what you're doing, angle the needle right. All of those things are really important, and that's on the artist, but it's something to pay attention to. And the only reason why we're talking about it here on the show for you guys, one, there could be artists watching.
Yeah.
There are actually some artists watching that I know that message me, but there's also clients out there, you guys, viewers, that have scars that want to know what's possible. And I'm not saying come to us. Other artists can do it, but I want you guys to know what's possible and be able to know, basically, you're getting the best work. So if you go to an artist, you want to know what they're telling you, because it is possible. So let's get back to this falcon.
Yeah.
So here is his tattoo. So I put the falcon on his shoulder, as you could see, right there.
Oh, wow.
It's on his upper side, right here. Bam. As you can see, I put the falcon up there. Now, as far as the meaning goes, we have family in there, growth, genealogy, because the falcon, actually his last name is Falcon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So right under the falcon, I have spearheads, and those spearheads represent his genealogy of his name, right?
Yeah.
His bloodline. He has growth through his life because he's been through a lot. On this next photo, you could see the back area of it. And since he's a doctor, I like doing this symbolic motif of tea leaves on the back lower right, right
there.
I'm going to get used to this split screen. Right here, you see kind of climbing up on his arms, tea leaves. And right above it is, that's probably a bad angle, but there's a bird. And the bird, you can't see it, but
I see the wing.
Yeah,
that's
one wing of the bird. Yeah. So this bird is shaped like that, and it's his journey. Yeah. It's this gentleman's journey. And surrounding his journey is his healing, because he heals people. Yeah. And that's what he does for a living. And then he likes to travel. So it goes hand in hand. Surrounding the falcon, you see the koru, or fern, the ferns kind of growing. And if you could see the spire on top in this next photo, right up here around the falcon, you'll see kind of these ferns spiraling around the falcon. Oh, yeah. That's growth, like new growth and beginnings for him and his family, with the leaves on top, family. So that's an example of what you can do with tattoo and mixing it with another photo. Yeah. So, you know, I was given that falcon from his son, just a photo, and then we transferred onto his body and created something around it. And later on, I'm going to talk about flow and what's going on in my mind as far as this goes. And I do want to reiterate that this isn't traditional Polynesian. Traditional Polynesian tattoos were done for battle, for rites of passage, for protection, for other things that were done in the 16, 17, 1800s. We're in the 2000s. Life's different. I use a tattoo machine, so I'm inspired by Polynesian designs. And just to give you some insight, I personally am moved spiritually when I design. And that's how I actually do the design. I don't have a dictionary where I look at what means what. It's just 20 years of accumulating all of this, and I'm just open to whatever comes to me. Yeah. So as I draw, his story starts like being told to me as I start seeing the designs. It's kind of weird, but maybe that's why I want to design Cameron's tattoo in front of you, to see what's going on in my mind, and maybe it'll make sense. Maybe it'll make sense.
The connection you make is really good with the clients.
Right. So this next tattoo is really important. This tattoo, you know, I want to say this tattoo is important because it shows an example of how a tattoo can be used for healing. Moving forward in life, many, many, many people have came with a lot of, you know, things such as divorce or a family member, you know, passing away, a dad, a mom, grandma, whatever, and they want to get past that and move forward. In this particular story, this story is told, and it's pretty powerful because let me just explain. The top turtle, or honu, represents him, this gentleman. Okay. And the lower, the middle, right here, the middle honu is his oldest son, and this is his youngest son. Okay, so three turtles. Yeah. On the shell of the top turtle is unity in marriage. Oh. It's two figures connecting side, like head to head. Yeah. If you could see it.
I can see it.
And that's unity in a marriage. So that represents his wife. Now, his wife was like everything to him. Not everything, but I mean really important.
Big part of his life.
Big part, yes. Along with his whole family. Yeah. This tattoo was a tribute to his family and his son, son that passed. So
that's deep.
So this lower honu, his youngest son,
yes,
is a son that passed, and of course with anyone, that's just it's
deep. It's
hard to get. I don't. Yeah. You know, I can't even imagine. So I can't even put it to words. What happens, right? Now as I know this story, I don't know what I'm gonna draw at all. I have no idea. I just start drawing. And this tattoo is put together way different than I normally do, but most of them are different in their own ways. Yeah. Keeping it unique based on the story of the client. So when I did this one, I actually started off with turtles swimming, turtles flowing with his arm, different things, but it kept coming back to like this middle area.
Yeah.
And I like how it ended up because if you could see, the middle honu on the shell of the honu has a weave, a tea leaf weave.
Yeah.
And that, again, tea leaf can represent blessings and healing, also tying together, bringing together.
Yeah, okay.
And with it being in the center, I feel like his oldest son is kind of like tying the family together, just kind of being there for the family, and a form of healing and blessing, a remembrance.
Yes.
You have blessings still, right? And then on the lower one, you have a bird. Now, birds represent a lot of things. In the last tattoo, you could see that it represented journey. And in this one, it's the son's journey to heaven, to be back with God. And also, the bird can represent Io, or God.
Okay, yeah.
See, the hawk was the highest flying creature, right, in Hawaii and throughout Polynesia. And it represented a tua or a kua for God, and he would look over and watch. So with this symbol or motif, it's like his son went to heaven and is watching over his family.
Wow,
like
that's
always
cool.
there, always there.
Always
Don't worry,
there.
like he's always there and he's watching, and every part of that family is important. And on the very top, you see Marcasian crosses up here, and that's faith. They are big believers in God, and that's on top. The cross is for God.
Oh, wow.
Something to know is that in Marquesas Islands, and that is the Marcasian cross, they didn't have Christianity back then. Christians came after, right?
Oh, so they had their own beliefs before the settlers came in. Yeah.
But that's a good example of like modernizing symbols.
Yeah.
Just like the spearheads meaning warrior.
Yeah.
It's a modern take on it. That's kind of an idea of the Marcasian cross. And there's many different meanings. Underneath this top honu, or hymn, is the bamboo weave, which represents strength, and it's underneath as a foundation, for that foundation for him, his wife, and his family. Right to the side of it is shark's teeth. What shark's teeth mean? Do you know?
Shark's teeth?
Yeah.
Don't know. You can't put me on the spot like that.
Pay attention, man.
Well, I mean,
no, the repetition of these shows, you'll get it. Okay, so the shark's teeth is protection. There's many different things, but it's protection. Yeah. Remember the ankle, the shark bit.
I was gonna say her Amakua. Yeah, and I just didn't follow that.
I don't believe you.
You can see how red my face is, everybody. I'm so embarrassed right now.
Put him on the spot.
Yeah,
okay.
Put me on the spot.
Okay, that's good. You're gonna pay attention. Okay, so the around is the shark's teeth, around his shoulder, representing protection for his family. The leaves, if you could see in this other photo, let's see, not that one. There's a photo right there. You could see on both sides of the centerpiece there's leaves. Yeah. And these leaves are of a plant, so it's family. I like the idea of leaves of one plant is like one unit, right? One plant, but many leaves. It's like a family. But it also in Polynesia represents like the pandanus tree, which is used for weaving together. Yes. Yeah. Mats and baskets and everything. And it's like family too, like weaving together, keeping it strong. Keeping it strong, right?
Stronger together than you are singly.
So those leaves are surrounding his family, which represents family. Now the inside of his arm is two spearheads joining as one, as you could see right here in the center. They're kind of coming together like this.
Okay, yeah.
And for me, that represents his wife's family, his family, coming together to create one family, his family.
Okay.
Right? And again, guys, this isn't traditional. This is what's coming to my head. Like, I'm just an open vessel, and I'm just like flowing through it. And as I draw and design, this is what it's told to me. I don't know how or why, but I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's what it's supposed to be, regardless. I don't know. And it fits his body, and that's for him personally. And then around those spearheads, you could see the basket weave again, the bamboo weave for strength for his whole family. So that is that tattoo broken down. And lastly, for tattoos, I want to take you through the process. And I'm going to take you through this process because of the fact that as we design Cameron's tattoo, and we're starting off in this show, I'm going to show you me drawing it and talking you through like why I'm doing certain lines and you know what's going on in my head as I draw. And then we have to marker it, then we have to outline it, then we have to shade it, and I'm going to walk you through it with these photos to show you how I do it. I can't speak for all artists. I can't even speak for Polynesian artists. I'm speaking for Island Tat.
Yeah.
That's it. So right here, this gentleman had a shoulder piece, a Guam seal hook shoulder piece, and you could see I drew it all in pen. I start off with a pen, as you're gonna see with Cameron. What I'm gonna do, I start off with pen, and I just go ahead and freehand based on, you know, the story along with his body structure and what he has. So I went up over surrounding the Guam seal, and right here on the back, I, you know, followed his trap area and then went down his shoulder. I kind of changed that in the end, and that's what happens. You modify as you go. So this is just pen, like a regular pen. Now, right here, I personally skin scribe it. It's a surgical marker. It's not a Sharpie. I use surgical marker because of the fact that surgeons use it and they cut through it. So if that can go in the body, then I feel safe with these going in the body.
Yeah.
I don't use Sharpies because I feel it's not safe, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't know.
It looks a lot cleaner. The purple looks a lot like, I like that.
And this just allows the tattoo to stay on longer while I tattoo and not wipe it off. Now, something interesting is that I tend to draw on all the symbols. Majority of tattoo artists, which I see, they don't draw on all the symbols. They draw on big sections. They take the machine and they just start freehanding without any pre-drawn thing. And that is a traditional way of doing it when you do the pe'a or you hand tap.
Okay.
That is. I could choose to do it that way, but I choose not to for the specific reason that I feel I could do a lot better if I draw, erase, and see different things and kind of fill it out. That's just why I do what I do. Here's another example up over his shoulder, and then here on the back.
Oh, wow.
And that's just, you know, the marker.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, this takes a long time.
Yeah.
It takes a long time, but perfection takes time. So if it's worth it, you sit through it and you do it. Now here you see the outline. Now this is the outline of the tattoo.
Oh.
And here's the top part.
Oh, it's top. Yeah.
I'm just walking you through it, you know. This is just kind of walking you through the tattoo. And that's the outline.
Oh, so this is after the machine.
That's just the outline and the black fill.
Okay.
And then here you go. You see the shading. So you could see the difference between it just being kind of traditional and black, and then with depth. And this is where the depth would be. You could see it going over his chest and then up over his neck.
Wow.
And then here on the back. Now on the back, you see the plumeries that represents him and his mom and his sister.
Yeah.
So that was very important to him to represent that. He wants to go into law enforcement. So we actually have 2 different spears.
Okay.
And I did 2 different spears to show genealogy and like the warrior spirit, you know, fighter.
Okay.
And all that. He has protection in there.
So
and
you
strength.
I mean, you could use, like you were talking about the spearheads the last episode, one being genealogy and one warrior. Could you use two, like you said, two different ones for two different meanings? Or
Well, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, necessarily, traditionally, no, they didn't do
Yeah.
that. But what I do is I'll shape it differently for
Okay.
different meanings. I mean,
Okay.
that's just what I do.
Yeah.
For different reasons. And that is, and that's that. That's breaking down the tattoos. That's the tattoo highlights of the week.
Yeah.
So
Good
those are
job.
just some of the tattoos that I did. And now we're going to get into tattooing Cameron's arm. Or
Yeah.
drawing. We're going to draw
Yeah.
on Cameron's arm. So this drawing on Cameron's arm, guys, we only have like 10 minutes. I'm going to go quick. I'm going to go quick and kind of show you and walk you through like what's going on in my head as I draw and design. And next week, what we're going to do is I'm going to actually finish the design. Like tonight or
Yeah.
tomorrow or something. I'm going to continue drawing it out so that next week everyone can see the completed drawing, and then we're going to actually tattoo.
Yeah.
And by tattooing here live, you guys can see, I guess I could walk you through what goes on in the tattoo artist's mind as
Yeah.
he's tattooing and what you have to do and how you have to think. And,
And
do
all the
and
thoughts
that,
you have,
know.
just say it. Like, sit still. I said sit still. I want you
Yeah.
to say it like out loud.
Stop shaking,
Yeah.
stuff like that. All right, so let me get ready, and we're going to start designing Cameron's tattoo right
Oh,
now.
cool. So I just want to do a quick thing real quick. I don't think we'll have enough time for a phone call that we're supposed to have later because we are short on time. We can? Okay.
We'll call, but you could preface them.
So later on, we're going to be talking about, if you guys don't know, that Hawaiian Independence Day is coming up. It's November 28th. And what they're celebrating is their independence from Great Britain and France. And that happened in 1843. And that's some great history that people are trying to have come back. They want the people to realize that Hawaiians did have their own independence and they were their own nation before the Americans came. So that's just a quick run through. We're going to go do our phone call later. I don't know if we're seeing these cool pictures. Oh, okay. And those are just some pictures of people celebrating their Independence Day at the Hawaiian people. And there you go. You know, that's Iolani Palace. Is that how you say it? Iolani Palace?
Iolani.
Iolani Palace. And that's where they're putting all up for the Independence Day.
So we're going to talk about that after this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so... All right, guys.
So you're on.
So, let's get this right.
Wow.
So you could see his arm right here. As you can see, he has a half sleeve already. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I do, and just to preface this, we did a consultation. So Cameron's, this is a memorial piece for his grandfather. His grandfather passed, and I actually did this tattoo before his grandfather passed. And this tattoo is for his family and his roots from Guam. Like he's Chamorro or from Guam. And he has a Guam seal here. Here, bend down a little bit. So he has a Guam seal here, as you could see. We have laddie stones in here for strength, genealogy, growth, because he's he just turned 21, actually. Happy late birthday again. So the leaves represent family going around because family was the most important thing to him. New growth or new life, that's what these Marcasian crosses represent, is like a shedding, like a crab shedding of his old life into a new, he's becoming a man, rite of passage pretty much. Strength, genealogy, his ancestor. So right here, his ancestor, this represents his ancestors watching over him. Now his grandfather just passed, so what I'm going to do first is I have his story in my head, and I'm going to just keep that in there as I start designing. And when I first design, I see these bold lines coming down and the movement and the flow. So with the flow that he has going on, I want to make sure that the flow continues down here. And the reason why I have him standing up, and I always have everyone standing up, is because I'm going to move his arm up, down, left, right, every direction when I'm designing, because of the fact that I want to make sure, one second, I want to make sure that,
Over right there.
all right, sorry about that. We're getting the cameras done right. I want to make sure that he, or the tattoo looks perfect in every direction. When people are looking from this way, when people are looking from this way, when he lifts his arm up, every single thing's got to look good. I'm going to go with his muscle structure, but I'm also going to go with what he already has.
Okay.
So this goes along with people that come in with tattoos I haven't done or other tattoos. Same thing. So right off the bat, like earlier in the intro, I drew this line right here because I'm going around this muscle, but I'm also going in line with this line right here. Can you guys see the line? Can you see what I'm doing? I can't really tell.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is powerful. So I'm going to want to kind of go in the same motion. So I'm going to draw a line right here. You know, a lot of people ask, what pen am I using? I guess that's interesting to know. Because they're like, oh, you could draw them. So this pen, actually I got from Walmart. And thanks to Suni, shout out to Suni, or the Island Tat artist, for 99 cents at Walmart. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because this pen is like $2.
Dang.
And this is a tattoo pen. It's called a saltwater pen or brass pen.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for drawing on skin. So you artists out there,
Walmart.
There's a pack of like 15.
Always comes in clutch.
$1. Okay. So I'm going to draw this, and then right here, this symbol will look good if it flows down here. Now, I don't know. Can you guys see this? Like,
If you turn his the pit that way, yeah, there you go. That's just good.
So again, this is the reason why I draw the symbols out, is because I want to see it. I want to see what's going on, because a lot of times I'll draw something and then I'll see something else. Like I wouldn't have saw that other thing if I didn't draw this out. And as I draw this symbol, and it's really rough. I'm just drawing real rough draft just to get an idea. And then after, when I go over it with the marker, I go over it like really good with straight lines and everything. But I just want an idea. So right here, I'm getting a better idea of what's happening. Now I'm gonna want this line to be thick. I'm gonna want this line to be thick.
If you guys flip spots, you probably see it because the light's behind Cameron.
But
That's okay. You're good.
okay. Do you think if you move the camera and like do it mobile, it'll work or no?
No, because I'll be blocking the light.
Okay.
We're good. We can see it. See all
All
those
right.
muscles.
Yeah, Cameron's out of control over here. Okay, so we have so this would be all bold.
Okay.
And a lot of it I have to visualize in my own head to know, and I do. I kind of been doing this a while. I kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like. So with that bold, this bold, now balance is really important. So we're starting to have balance in that. I like symmetry. I know a lot of things aren't symmetrical, but symmetry is pleasing to the eye. It's just, it feels good. It whatever feels good, I think should be. So if it's going to be symmetrical and it's better symmetrical, it's more work.
Yeah.
Because if it's off, you could really tell it's off. But I don't care about more work. I care about it being perfect. It has to be the best it could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
So these leaves represent family, and that's good because his whole tattoo is about family. His whole life is about family. That's his culture, and it's a memorial tattoo, which is family as well. So we have this piece going down. I have to think about that because right here, this area is going to have to flow at some point with something. So I'm just drawing some lines, and this is what I normally would do. I'll just kind of draw some lines that I might erase later or I might leave. I don't know. It all depends. I'll probably do this one thicker too.
Oh yeah, legacy. There you go. Good shot.
So bold lines are really good because it frames everything else, and you don't want it too bold though, because then it overpowers the tattoo. I drew a line right down here because of the fact that it gives good. It doesn't always have to flow. Like this isn't flow, right? Because it's just straight. But when he puts his arm up like this, it's gonna be like this straight line, and that's.
It's in a yeah. I get what you're
That's
saying.
good, you know, because movement, it's flowing forward, and that's powerful. That's good, and he has flow going around his muscle, so that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is draw a line straight down, and as I'm doing this, I'm kind of like always looking and watching it too to see like. Is this right?
So you want to make sure, like, when you move the arms, because it flexes on its own, you want to make sure it all flows, right? Is that what you mean by flowing too?
Yeah. Well, flow is movement.
Okay.
Right, and with a line, their movement is right here. This is movement. This is flow.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is straight.
Yeah.
So does this match with this? Well, it can. If I have other things coming around like this, symmetrical, and this is straight down with the face on top, and this is coming up and around, that'll look good. It'll be fine.
I just seen the tattoo done in my head right now. It's crazy.
You want a pen?
No. It just popped in my head. Yeah, no. I'll be just putting a bunch of shark teeth right down the middle.
Shark's teeth. I like this right down the middle.
Oh, wow.
Normally, all tattoos are different, right? Now, if this is his ancestors, this could be his genealogy. And that's what comes like first thought, not warrior spirit or fighting and all this other stuff. Like in our last show, we talked about genealogy and fighting spirit and how they're different. I was taught that spearheads, and there's a different name for it, but it could represent genealogy, your ancestors, your descendants, and generation one after another, stacked onto each other, which means it never ends. So down here, I'm not going to want to end like that. I'm going to want to end like this, where it's just it just keeps going. And again, this is just rough draft. I mean, I'm gonna make everything straight later. Now with these pens, even the skin scribes or the brass pen, no matter what, you always got to keep it facing down, or it's the ink's gonna not drip. It's gonna dry out, whatever. So you artists watching, leave tips. We're always trying to learn, and this is about learning, but learning the right way.
With an open mind.
And kind of talking it out. Talking with each other, creating a community where we can have open discussion about things like this.
Dang.
So I would do a thick black line right here, only because to bring balance. You have thick black here, just bring it down, maybe, to add to that flow. Now, this muscle right here, I'm going to want, I feel like it's coming up and over. I feel that, like something has to come up and over this area, like we talked about earlier. So I'm going to kind of draw this, and I kind of see the ferns because you got ferns here and ferns up here, but I'm gonna draw this in. Now there's a difference, okay? Look at that. So you have a line coming thin,
Yeah.
and it gets wide like that.
Yeah.
Now look at the difference if I did this. If I framed it, and instead of going small, I just went the same size all the way around.
Oh.
See, that's a whole different look.
Yeah.
Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah, yeah. You can see it.
It's a whole different look. There's no flow to that.
No.
It's constant. It's like, I guess, stable. It's just steady. Boom. It's just there, right?
Yeah, it looks simple, like.
And there is place for that.
Mhm.
There is, but not right here. Because right here you're gonna I wanna do this, and then right here I'm seeing like a bold line to frame it,
Yeah.
and then I want to do another one. And again, I'm just watching. I'm just seeing what does it look like? I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, but what does it look like? So I'll put the arm like this out
Yeah.
and take a look. And I'm going to go from left to right and feel it out. Does that look right? Does it feel right? The feeling is like so important.
Mhm.
You know what I like about this is these lines are coming here and this line is coming up that way. So you have this like motion.
Yeah, it's
like
opening.
that.
Yeah.
And I like that look. This line's bold, that's bold. Okay, it's feeling good. So right here, I'm gonna see if this works where I do a fern.
And the ferns are for
Growth.
growth. Okay.
Like new growth and beginnings. You know?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Cameron, James said, "Stay strong and don't cry like he did when Josh was tatting him last season."
James is at home like excited, going, "Oh, I can't wait."
So it's all love, Cam. It's all love.
Shout out to James. He's not here with us, but you know, he's out there supporting, watching, doing his thing. He's got a lot going on. He'll be with us sometime, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll come.
Okay, so right here, looking at the back, I see the face, right? The tiki,
Yeah.
the cross.
Mm-hmm.
I see these spears coming down. It has to be symmetrical to me, like to feel good. It has to be symmetrical because when I'm seeing it, when he's walking,
Yeah.
and it just, I don't know. For me, it's gotta feel right. It's gotta be balanced and feel right. And again, this is my style. This is just what I'm thinking in my head because I see a lot of people don't do symmetry, and I don't do symmetry in everything. It's just some things I do, and I feel like it is harder because look, I have to balance it. I have to make it all. It has to be perfect, pretty much, which nothing's perfect, right?
Yeah, I mean, but it's like you always tell us, you know, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, you know? So if you're in a rush and just throwing stuff together, it's going to show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you're always explaining to us to take your time, and it's a process.
So pretty much, I'm going to draw just these markers where the ferns are.
Mhm.
And then when I turn his arm over, I can complete the design because I just want it to be the same area. Okay, so I can come back on this side and design this. Now, right here, what's important is I could just come bring it all the way down, but I also, when his arm is like this,
Mm-hmm.
like flat,
Yeah.
he's looking at his wrist like if he had a watch right here, okay? He's seeing it. And what would look good is if he had like a something right here to kind of balance it off instead of just all like lines coming across.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do a guideline center in his arm.
Auntie Sherry's wanted to know, once you draw it, will you be tattooing all night?
No, no. This is something new. We're just kind of designing, and I'm walking everyone through like what goes on in my mind as I design a tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm gonna do is just take a picture. I'm gonna finish the design later, and then next week before the show, I'm gonna redraw the same design on them, or whatever is the completed design, and then we're going to start tatting. So this will be the tattoo for this season, and little by little we'll just start with the outline and complete it. It's going to be a big project. So, but what's cool is you guys are going to get to see it from designing all the way through to complete it full sleeve.
We got another comment. My uncle Carl, he commented, "How's it, Josh?"
Oh, how's it, Law?
Said he feels his pain, but it'll flow into a beautiful sleeve.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Okay, so right here, and this is how long it takes. I mean, it takes an hour or two just to design, because I erase, I draw, I erase. I do not do it the traditional way of just getting a machine and going for it.
Do clients ever get I don't know, like lightheaded while you design, or do you have to have them sit down every once in a while, or?
I had a client get lightheaded.
Oh.
But you can normally tell and then have them
like chill.
Yeah, because see, if they're sitting down, their whole body structure changes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they're sitting down and I have their arm,
Mm-hmm.
like I want to see everything how it is when he's standing,
Mm-hmm.
and when you sit, skin pulls different ways. I mean, it might be okay, but then what happens if I want to do this, or, lift it or move it a certain way, turn them around like this way so I could take a look back. I'm going to have them keep standing up. Really, I wouldn't. I would just kind of wing it.
Yeah.
Right? I would just be like lazy and be like, nah, that's fine. And it's never fine.
No,
it's never
yeah.
okay.
Mm-mm.
So if they need a break and sit down, that's fine. We could sit down. Oh, okay. Yeah, right here.
James had a question that have you ever designed or drawn a whole piece and a client said they didn't like it? And what do you do if that happens?
If I design a whole piece and they just don't like it, they're not feeling it, I wipe it off and they don't get it. I had people, I design a whole piece and then not really no more, but in the past I've had them like try and take pictures of it and not get it.
Yeah.
So that they could go to their friend and, get it done, which it'll never work out. It just, it never work out, but I haven't had that in a while, actually.
I just want to answer this.
You could tell though. People try to be sneaky. You could totally tell with people like what's going on.
No, I wasn't the client that almost passed out. They asked if it was me.
Who?
My uncle.
Uncle Carl?
Yeah, he said, was it Robert that got lightheaded standing up?
No. No.
Only when he did the backside of my arm, I got lightheaded. That was torture.
Okay, so I don't know if the camera can see this, but right here you have a different angle. So this point is coming down sharp.
Oh yeah, I can see
which this opening is small, and then it goes to a big opening.
Okay.
Everything has to be parallel. Everything has to be the same size. So if I draw a pathway all the way down like this, then that leaves this opening.
Oh.
But what's good is I can blacken this in, and it pretty much frames this area.
Yeah.
And this is going to be black. So what I probably would do is drop this black line right here, like that. And in the end, right now, it's just pen, so it might not look right or whatever. It will. It'll look fine, like I already know. So this is gonna come down. What time is that? I'm probably over time, huh?
I'm looking at 7:45.
Okay, yeah, we're over time. Okay, so I do this side the same. I'll figure out what to do on the inside here. I want to do community because family is important to him. We have his journey, a bird right here. I probably want to do, I'm probably going to do like a cross right here. Okay, well, that's all the time we have. I guess I try to break down as much as I could. This is kind of an idea of his tattoo, if you can see. Maybe we'll take this off and maybe you can like see the whole tattoo. With the flow, I guess. And again, it's a rough draft. So when I design it, you guys can reference this rough draft, ugly like drawing, like quick sketch, and then see what it looks like in the end. All right, so that's that. Robert, take us away.
Hey guys, oh, I gotta make a phone call real quick. But we will get that done right now.
Okay, again, what was it? The
Hawaiian Independence Day.
Okay, yeah, let's see some pictures of that. All right. So that's that. So for those of you that don't know, earlier we talked about Hawaiian Independence Day, and we have a viewer that called or messaged us asking.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sean?
Aloha.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Yeah.
Asking about that.
Good.
So we have you on air. We were talking about Hawaiian Independence Day earlier, just the date reference, really, the November 28th, and giving some details, but not all of them. So maybe you could let our listeners know more about Hawaiian Independence Day.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, for sure. So on November 28th in 1843, the United Kingdom and the Kingdom of France issued a joint proclamation recognizing the sovereignty of the Hawaiian Kingdom. And shortly after that, Belgium and the United States recognized the sovereignty of the Hawaiian Kingdom. So in the old days of the Hawaiian Kingdom, November 28th was our Independence Day.
Okay.
That was the day we celebrated, when the world officially recognized us as being independent. And they kind of told everybody, you don't colonize this place. Nobody's going to take it. It's neutral territory now.
Okay, so what's happening coming up? What can we do to help give exposure to this Hawaiian independence and on social media, or what? Is there anything planned?
Yeah, so I've been talking to Leon Su, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Hawaiian Kingdom. And he's been in touch with Dr. Keanu Sai and many other people helping towards Hawaiian independence. And we thought it'd be a good idea this November 28th to celebrate Hawaiian Independence Day. We're making progress towards independence, with our relationship with America. And so, we want to bring back the holiday. On November 28th, anybody that, cares about Hawaiian independence, is about freedom, equality, liberty, and all those good things, to show their support for the cause of Hawaiian independence on November 28th by, maybe taking pictures or videos of you, your family, your friends, putting them out on using the hashtags Free Hawaii and or Let Hawaii Happen.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Free Hawaii. That's big. The hashtag I've seen earlier on Instagram. A lot of followers are following that.
All right, so it's all about just bringing awareness to Hawaiian independence and the movement moving forward. All right, sounds good. Where can everyone get more information about this?
On HawaiianKingdom.net. Also on Facebook. There's plenty of different resources. HawaiianKingdom.net is a great place to start, though. And we have all of the history out there. There's plenty of materials. Actually, as of this year, a groundbreaking thing took place where, for the first time ever in American public schools, the state of Massachusetts has passed a law where now the overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom is being taught in high school history class throughout the state of Massachusetts. This is the first year it's being taught. So
that's crazy.
So, I mean, progress is being made. Things are happening. You know, we do everything pono, do it with aloha. You know, we just want everybody to do the right thing, make the world a better place, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, big
Sounds
time.
good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thanks for the call, Sean, and we'll be in touch. Appreciate everything. And again, those of you wanting to follow this, go to the website and check it out. Contact Sean too, and maybe we'll put his information.
Yeah.
And what hashtag Free Hawaii?
Yeah. Free Hawaii.
Free Hawaii.
Yep.
And Hawaiian Independence.
All right, Sean.
Hey, thanks a
man.
lot. Thanks for the call.
calling in.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. You have a good one, man. Aloha.
You take care.
All right.
Thank you.
All right,
Aloha.
bye.
All right, so there you have it, guys. Free Hawaii. You know, we're all about indigenous, you know, people and
Culture.
spreading culture. I didn't know that about. I knew Hawaiian Independence. I knew that they had independence for sure. They had a kingdom and everything. I just didn't know there was like a specific day.
Yeah, I didn't
but it's good to
either.
bring it back.
Yeah,
and let everyone,
everyone know.
Hey,
Yeah.
they had their own kingdom, and you know, there's a movement. There's a lot of movement going on.
Them and many others, yeah, saying they
Yeah.
have their own movements.
So that's good. I did want to touch base. Bobby Ford asked, what style of Polynesian? Maori, Marquesian, Samoan. Polynesian is Maori, Marquesian, Samoan. So what style of Polynesian? And Bobby, are you asking what style was I designing?
I'm guessing that's
I'm
what
guessing
I would.
so.
Yeah.
So when I was freehanding the design on Cameron, Polynesian style, he has some New Zealand,
Yeah.
koru in there. He has Samoan, which is a plant and the bird motifs. Manu, let's see what else you have. Marquesian. Oh, you said what style? You hit all three.
He got it. Maybe he was saying what styles, like he was pointing them out.
Yeah, and so far that is the styles that he has. I'm looking. He has some Guam symbols on there, some Chamorro.
Yeah.
Laddie Stone, the Guam seal. But for the most part, Marquesian, Samoan, and Maori. The Ferns. Yeah. He has ferns in there. And basically, Polynesian tattoos is a blend of all of Polynesia, from Hawaii, New Zealand, Aotearoa, to Rapa Nui. Or
The
East
triangle,
Island.
right?
Everything inside of that is a blend of all the cultures. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for joining us. Please remember, we do have a Black Friday sale.
This Friday.
Yes, as you can see, there's a flyer this Friday here at the shop, the Tattoo Studio, 7912 Lester Avenue in Lemon Grove,
Limited.
California.
Limited.
It's all limited. We're going to have some deals going on, and we are dropping this new color in this style, this design. We also have
Hoodies.
we also have this, which is hoodies. And these are very limited. It is getting cold. So those of you that want to pick these up,
Make sure to be here early.
yep, come and grab them. These go for $42 online, $30 Friday.
Yeah.
So, and that's the lowest we can go. Family, friends, everybody. $20 for the shirt, $30 for the hoodie. Good deals. But that's for the family and friends. That's
And
for
we'll be
you guys,
posting
everyone
more
coming.
information on our social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, and
Yes.
letting everybody know about our sales. More leading towards, I guess, Cyber Monday and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just stay tuned.
All right.
Yeah.
So next week we start tattooing Cameron. We'll actually start tattooing him, and we're gonna hit another culture, talk more culture, and
we'll be good.
yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Alrighty.
Thank you.